NBC, you're not going to give us Chelsea versus Man City? Really? At least we can still win $50,000. Hey there everybody, what's going on? It's Jason Mattis with Winning Bets. This is one of the free games we play, and it's over on the NBC Sports Predictor app where we can win $50,000 if we can correctly predict Premier League match week number 6. All you gotta do is correctly answer all 5 games. You gotta give them the right result and the score. That's it. Easy peasy, right? Yeah, this game's super tough, but they'll still give away a guaranteed $1,000 prize to the group people that can get the most points. Get the most points, you get 10 points for the correct score, and you get 4 points right if you can get the right result right. No Manchester City versus Chelsea on this app this week. That's the big game this weekend. That's the game everybody's going to be watching, everybody looks forward to, but they never give you the Saturday 6:30 a.m. game, and that's where that game falls. So that's the reason why we didn't get this one, but we still got 5 other games. Before we jump on into it, don't forget, I'm also giving away $25 each and every single week. If you want to go ahead and win that $25, you can join the league to compete against your fellow Winning Bet supporters. Need that league information? Well, it's in this video description. Grab it and join the league and take my $25. Let's see who won this week. Looks like it was Maestro. Maestro went ahead and won with 30 points. Impressive, too, on their win because they had 0 points after the first 2 games, and then got the next 3 correct scores right to give them a solid 30 points. And you can see they had a real nice cushion there of 12 points, so just a real nice work by them. But also don't forget, they won $50. They also won $50 because we had a tie in week 4, and anytime we have a tie of 3 or more people, we roll the $25 on to the next week. So that made match week number 5 worth $50. So Maestro actually wins $50. That's some really good work by them. Go ahead and hit me on Twitter. Drop me your PayPal information, and I'll go ahead and send you $50. How did I do last week? I got 8 points. Certainly a step back for me last week. The only games I got right was I got Manchester United and Chelsea. I got both of them the winners right. Hey, when Manchester City is in this game and Manchester City doesn't win, a lot of people are going to do bad right there, so that certainly hurt everybody. But let's go ahead and jump on into these 5 games. I'm excited to go ahead and talk about these ones and go ahead and break them down. The first one we got here is Leicester versus Burnley. Seems like it's the same old song and dance with Burnley, right? We talk about Burnley, you know, how they can't score, but how they can defend. But that is who they are. I mean, look at them right there. They only got 1 point after 5 games, and they've only scored 3 goals. So when I sit here every week and tell you Burnley can't score, Burnley can't score, they can really only score on a set piece. They can't really punish you in open play. I don't make this stuff up. I mean, the stats go ahead and back it up. Burnley is just absolutely struggling right here. Burnley does get 1 extra day's rest. At the time of doing this recording, they have had their EFL Cup game played on Tuesday, where Leicester plays on Wednesday. So they do get that extra recording, or that 1 extra day's rest. We don't know what Leicester's result is, but whether Leicester wins, draws, whatever, it's not going to impact, you know, their Premier League preparation and their Premier League, you know, focus going into this game right there. But Burnley does get the extra rest, so that'll certainly be nice right there. Leicester, they're coming off to a relatively rough start to their campaign. They've got 2 wins and 3 losses. They've conceded 8 goals while only scoring 5 in those 5 games, and they're coming off 2 straight losses. So yeah, rough start and certainly stumbling right here in this current moment. The Foxes, though, haven't lost a league head-to-head versus Burnley since 2007. So as long as they've been matched up in the league together, whether that's the Championship or the Premier League, they've been really good to them at home. That's a head-to-head at home. They haven't lost to them since 2017. Because it's Burnley, I think it pretty much comes down to 2 factors when you go ahead and answer this question. One, is it going to go ahead and be under 2.5 goals? We know that from my daily show and how prevalent that is, and we actually cashed on my daily show Burnley under 2.5 in that last fixture versus Arsenal. And then the other thing you got to factor in is, will Burnley score? I mean, quite simple right there. Under 2.5, and will Burnley score? I'm going to go ahead and say Burnley does score. They're going to go ahead and get on the score sheet, but it's not going to be enough for them. They're not going to win this game. Go ahead and give me a Leicester 2-1 win. The next one we got here is we got Brentford versus Liverpool. Look, Brentford's been fun to watch, right? They've been fun. Newbies into the Premier League. They've got exciting attacking football. They're coming off a good 2-0 win there up against the Wolves, a Wolves team that is tough defensively, and they were able to get 2 goals past them, so we like that. Liverpool themselves, though, they're also flying high. They're coming off a nice 3-0 win versus Palace. When we look at this fixture here, we wonder if Brentford has enough to punish Liverpool. And can Ivan Toney do it? He's obviously the number 9. He's leading the line there for the Bees. And can he do enough to punish it? He's got a supporting cast. It doesn't all be on his shoulders, but he's certainly the one leading the line, being the number 9. And I ask you that question because Liverpool in 5 games, they've got 4 clean sheets. So this is a tough task by what Brentford has to do and what Toney has to do. People just aren't scoring up against Liverpool. Not a big surprise. They got Virgil van Dijk back this year. He's healthy. He shores up that back end. He's probably the best center back, certainly the best center back in the Premier League, maybe the best center back in all of the world. Yeah, Van Dijk's really good, folks. So, yeah, Liverpool is certainly going to be too much for these newbies. Again, 4 clean sheets in 5 games. That's how it comes down to when you answer this question is, will Brentford be able to score? They're at home. That should help their chances of score, but I don't think they go ahead and get that done. Liverpool's going to give themselves another clean sheet. Go ahead and give me that Liverpool 3-0 win. The next one we got here is we got Southampton versus Wolves. It's not really a whole lot to, not much to like with either right now. There, go ahead and got that out right there. Southampton, they're winless with 4 points. Meanwhile, Wolves, they've got 1 win and 4 losses. They've only scored 2 goals as Wolves. And those 2 goals came in the same game against Watford. So we're not talking all that impressive, right? I mean, Watford's a newbie. Watford will likely be in the relegation fight, may even go back down to the championship. And that's been the only opponent they were able to score against. Good thing they got 2 goals. You better get 2 up against a Watford team right there. Southampton, they're coming off against good performances. Look, they may be winless, but they've got 4 points, so they've gotten 4 draws. That's because they are putting in good performances. A good performance against Manchester United, a good performance against West Ham, and coming off a really good performance against Manchester City. In fact, it was such a good performance against Manchester City. City only had 1 shot on target. That is impressive because you know what you're going to get with City. A lot of ball possession and a lot of at least shots. They're usually low on shots on target. They'll usually hover around maybe that 5 per game. But to hold them with only 1 shot on target, yeah, that was really impressive right there. Southampton put in another good performance right there. Meanwhile, Wolves, they just look bad. I mean, I said it right there. They've only got 1 win. They've only scored 2 goals in 5 games. They've looked absolutely bad, and it looks like they're still adjusting under the new manager. That's what it looks like to me, is they haven't quite gotten their footing. They don't understand the system. They understand it, but they just don't have, experience in the system, I guess is what I say. So they're still adjusting to that new system. Meanwhile, Wolves, but they're not conceding. While Wolves aren't scoring, they're not conceding. Under 2.5 goals has cashed in all 5 of their fixtures. So give them credit. They may not be scoring, but they're also not conceding, so it's keeping them in games at least. How does this one going to go down? I'm going to lean on that under 2.5 just because, that's such a prevalent thing so far in Wolves games. I think Southampton's going to get the win, though. Give me a Southampton 1-0 win. Next one we got here is we got the North London Derby. That's right, we got Arsenal. And we go up against Tottenham right here. Arsenal, they've rebounded. Tough start to their campaign, but they have rebounded with 2 straight wins. Let's look at the competition, though. They played Norwich and Burnley. Those are 2 games you've got to win. Now let's see how they do up against a much better opponent. Meanwhile, Tottenham, they're struggling. They look bad against Crystal Palace. Absolutely bad. And I'm not talking about when they were reduced to 10 men. Before they were reduced to 10 men, they looked absolutely bad. And then they were kind of competitive in that first half against Chelsea. And then second half, Chelsea just absolutely dominated them. But to be fair to Tottenham, a lot of teams are getting dominated by Chelsea these days, so can't hold too much against them with that one right there. But let me remind you, the troubling thing with Tottenham is they're not scoring all that much. And let me remind you, Wolves also didn't score that much last season. And we mentioned that obviously because Nuno Santos was the manager at Wolves and now he's the manager at Tottenham. So he's a manager that when he was at Wolves, he really focuses on the defensive end first. He wants to be compact and have good shape. And then obviously he wants to score goals too, but the defense is going to take priority. I'm not saying you're getting that so far in Tottenham, but you're starting to see that so far with Tottenham. They're just not scoring all that many goals. Tottenham, they haven't scored in 2 straight. Yeah, they haven't scored in 2 straight. I'm telling you, folks, they're struggling to score goals right now. Given the current form, I'm not sure there's a whole lot that separates these 2 clubs. Or maybe if you want to say Arsenal's a tick better, I guess I won't totally disagree, but again, they've gone against Norwich and Burnley in those 2 wins, so kind of hard to really judge who has the better form right here. Last season's head-to-head was split. They each got 1 win apiece. I think this one's going to be a stalemate. Go ahead and give me a 1-1 draw in the North London Derbies. How this one's going to unfold. It should be good, though. North London Derbies are always good and exciting, so still look forward to watching that match, even though maybe those teams aren't performing as good as they were hoping to coming into the campaign. Then the last one we got here is we got Crystal Palace going up against Brighton. 4th place Brighton. Oh, I didn't stutter, folks. How does that sound? 4th place Brighton. Unreal what they're doing. Coming off a win against Leicester. Yeah, Brighton is certainly flying high. They're playing good defensively. They were good last term defensively. They look even better so far this term defensively here. And they're creating enough offensively. They're doing just enough to get wins, and which is getting them in that 4th place, led by Maupay. They got Welbeck right there tucked in behind him. So, yeah, they've got a nice attacking pieces, but they're really playing good, compact, shaped, good defensively. So, like that right there. Palace, they lost to Liverpool. I mean, after securing their first win against Tottenham, again, a win where I thought they absolutely dominated Tottenham, they lost to Liverpool. They lost 3-0. I mean, they didn't do a whole hell of a lot much against Liverpool. That's maybe their only troubling thing is I don't think it's surprising that you lose to Liverpool. Okay, you also didn't score against Liverpool. Again, 4 clean sheets in 5 games for Liverpool. But they just didn't do all that much. They didn't really put too much pressure on Liverpool. So that was the more troubling thing in that game. But Palace has been better at home. Their 1 win came at home, and they've also got a draw at home in their only 2 matches. So that was pretty good right there. And they also haven't conceded at home. So that's also really good. So that gives you an edge right here, and that gives you kind of a hope of confidence if you're Crystal Palace, is maybe you can do it. The last 2 seasons against these 2 clubs, I've seen 2 draws and 2 Palace wins. One of those Palace wins, though, I remember it because I bet it last season. Palace got 2 goals on 2 shots on target, and one of them came in the 95th minute. Now, thankfully, that day I was on Brighton to have over 4.5 shots on target, which cashed. But, yeah, Palace, pesky Palace, came out of nowhere and snatched goals out of that game and gone ahead and snatched them a 2-1 win. So I would say the head-to-heads against these 2 clubs have been fairly competitive, but I would maybe even give the edge maybe to Brighton a touch. But I don't see either one of these teams getting 3 points on this match day. I think this one will be another 1-1 draw. I could see a winner, though. If you're sitting there and you want to pick either one of these 2 clubs winning, yeah, and I can't really argue too much with you there, but I am going to go ahead and lock in on the 1-1 draw. Hey, guys, if you want interested in breaking down all 10 of these Premier League games on Thursday afternoon, I have a show on this YouTube channel called Between the Posts, where I talk about all 10 games, break down all 10 games, and give you leans and bets for all 10 of these games. Go ahead and check that out. I'm joined by Matt each and every single week. The 2 of us, we go back and forth breaking down these 10 games. Otherwise, guys, my goal is always just to be helpful to you. I want to help you guys win that $50,000. Don't forget to join my league. Take my $25 each and every single week. Otherwise, guys, good luck with your picks. We'll see you back here on the next contest. That was a lot of fun. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and good luck with your picks. If interested in placing real sports bets, then check out my latest daily free sports betting video in the bottom right corner. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next contest.